The Iran coalition conflict is no longer about rapid dominance or decisive strikes. It is becoming something far more dangerous, a structured war of attrition where endurance, not firepower, will decide the outcome. Hello and welcome to this operational update and analysis. Today we assess the current trajectory of the Iran coalition conflict as of March 28th, and more importantly, what the evolving battlefield dynamics reveal about where this war is heading. This is no longer an escalation phase. It is the beginning of a prolonged contest of pressure, logistics, and resilience. Coalition forces continue a methodical air campaign across Iran. Targets include defense industry nodes, missile infrastructure near Yazd, naval assets, and command elements in Tehran. This is not random targeting. It reflects a deliberate attempt to degrade Iran's long-term military capacity. However, Iran's response pattern is equally structured. Retaliatory strikes are rapid, consistent, and calibrated. This indicates a controlled escalation model, not reactive behavior, but planned persistence. The operational tempo on both sides confirms a shift toward attritional warfare rather than decisive breakthrough. Iran's strikes against Kuwait and the UAE reveal a clear strategic logic. Targets such as Ali al-Salem airbase, major ports, and industrial facilities like Emirates Global Aluminium are not symbolic. They are functional. These are dual-use assets, critical to both civilian economies and military logistics. By targeting them, Iran is expanding the cost of the war beyond the battlefield. The objective is simple: disrupt coalition staging capacity and impose economic pressure on regional partners supporting the campaign. This is horizontal escalation, designed to stretch the coalition system. In the maritime domain, Iran is leveraging geography with precision. The Strait of Hormuz is effectively under controlled denial. IRGC naval enforcement actions, including turning away vessels regardless of prior agreements, demonstrate selective control rather than full closure. This is a calibrated move. Iran is not triggering total confrontation at sea. Instead, it is applying pressure on global supply chains while retaining escalation flexibility. This gives Tehran strategic leverage without overcommitting naval forces. The reported strikes on US KC-135 tankers in Saudi Arabia mark a significant operational development. These are high-value logistical assets. Targeting them directly challenges coalition sustainment capability. Air operations depend on refueling infrastructure. Disrupt that, and you compress operational reach and tempo. This indicates Iran is not just absorbing strikes, it is actively targeting the backbone of coalition air power. On the Israeli front, persistent missile penetration into central areas signals growing pressure on air defense systems. Interception challenges, particularly against heavier warheads, suggest either stockpile strain or system saturation. This matters because Israel's strategic depth is limited. Sustained penetration increases both civilian vulnerability and military attrition risk. Over time, even small leakages in air defense become operationally significant. The entry of Houthi forces introduces an additional axis of pressure. Ballistic threats from the south complicate defensive planning and stretch interception resources. Meanwhile, Hezbollah maintains controlled engagement in southern Lebanon. Harassment operations continue, but without full-scale escalation. This reflects coordination without overextension, keeping multiple fronts active without triggering uncontrolled escalation. Coalition posture shows signs of adjustment under pressure. US force dispersion outside established bases may reduce vulnerability to concentrated strikes, but it also complicates command, control, and rapid response. Regional actors such as Turkey and Azerbaijan remain cautious. Their restraint signals uncertainty about escalation trajectories and reluctance to be drawn into a broader conflict. This limits coalition depth and political cohesion. Conclusion: The trajectory is becoming clear. This conflict is stabilizing into a prolonged war of attrition. Iran is compensating for technological inferiority through persistence, geography, and targeted disruption of logistics and infrastructure. The coalition retains superior firepower, but firepower alone does not guarantee strategic success in an attritional model. Over time, endurance becomes the decisive factor, and in that domain, Iran holds structural advantages: manpower depth, geographic resilience, and a strategic doctrine built around long-term resistance. Unless the coalition shifts toward a decisive escalation that fundamentally alters the operational balance, this war will not end quickly. It will grind. And in wars like this, the side that adapts to endurance, not dominance, usually dictates the outcome. For continued operational updates and strategic analysis, subscribe and stay informed, because this conflict is not slowing down, it is settling in.